Once again, here's Sean Leslie.
And talking with Alise Mills, pundit, a BC Liberal strategist. And Alise, I blame you for creating this monster. Now my technical producer, Jamie Brigden, has... and of course, he didn't just say this on my headphones. He posted it on my Facebook wall, just to be so 2010, that I expect to see her Twitter account created by the end of the day. Fat chance, man. I'll have to think about it a little bit more, Alise.
Well, I'm going to have to create one for you and just be Sean Leslie. I don't know. I mean, you have so many supporters out there. Everybody. It's the only time the NDP and I have ever communicated in an appropriate way on Twitter. We came together and agreed.
All right. Well, I'll have to ponder that one.
Twitter. We have to talk about Christy Clark's Twitter. Christy Clark's Draft Christy. I have to say, if you guys are listening, I mean, there's tweets and then there's spam. I mean, I think this is probably one of the worst social media experiments I've seen. I appreciate you need to get out there and draft her, but I have to say, last night I'm watching Twitter and it's filling up the hashtags, and all it is reheat of old news stories. I have to just put it out there. I'm sorry, Sean. I rarely complain on the show, but that has to stop because it's actually turned me right off of anything that she's doing on her social media. And it's not even her. It's two of her supporters out there just plugging it. And you know, I think leadership's supposed to be fun, and if this continues, it's not going to be fun.
Let's go to the phones. Joe in Langley. Joe, hi.
Weird. Yeah, I was going to bring up how excited are you guys about Christy Clark. I really think she's going to go all the way. All she's got to do is activate her flight plan, so to speak, and just take off and go get him, it looks like.
Do you think she should go, Joe?
I think she should already have taken off already. I think she should just go for it. I mean, the people want her, obviously. They're more excited about her than any other guys that could possibly run since Mary Black's not running. Kevin Falcon has cold feet, colder than the Arctic. And the other guys are ho-hum. And Alise Mills isn't running, and my heart would have broke because of that.
Another fact. Yeah, Alise, you know, this, because, you know, I've been talking to Christy about this on and off for the past week, both on and off the air. And I guess it gets back to my perpetual puzzlement as a member of the media over why people want to do this kind of thing anyway. And Christy spoke eloquently about it yesterday on air. I'm going to play that for you, about her respect for public service. But listen, she's got a sweet gig at CKNW. I don't know how much it pays, but it's good hours. It's Monday to Friday. Why would she want to go for something like leading the BC Liberal Party, becoming premier, a job that's going to require 18-hour work days and you know, taking all the abuse from the media and the public? I don't get it. Why would somebody want to do it, Alise Mills?
I look at, and Christy's a special circumstance. I have to say, I mean, Christy and I share a few qualities. We both have children roughly the same age. I don't know. She obviously has. She says that she has a calling to public service, and I think out of everyone, I completely connect with that. But I was really surprised that she would have left CKNW. I saw Christy going off in other directions, and I don't know. There's a lot of she's got a very strong federal following.
Yes.
I'm very concerned about that turning into a ground war for the party. No party wants a leadership. One thing that we are good at, and forgetting about the nuclear explosion of Bill Bennett, and luckily that seems to have lost its sparkle. But I think that what I can say about the party as a whole is that we are very much in unison. And any party would agree that when a leadership comes in, it is probably your worst nightmare because it's friends against friends.
Yeah. What
I am worried about with the Christy Clark candidacy is there is a lot of federal interest, and old federal wars will show up on the ground. Will this divide us even further? And it's not to lay that all at Christy's feet, but that's something that I have a great concern in, not because of her personally, but because of some of the conversations that are starting to spark up. And I wouldn't normally come out and say it like that, but it is such a concern for me, and many others.
Yep, let's go to Paul on the open lines. Paul, hi.
Oh, hey, Sean. Yeah, I think there really needs to be an election. I think it's safe to say that 3 out of 5 people would want an election, and I don't think the Liberals should be allowed to basically install a dictator.
That's an interesting point, Paul. Thanks for that call. What do you think about that, Alise? Is there a need for whoever wins the leadership to call that snap election? I saw George Abbott saying that was unlikely if he wins, but would the new leader not want a new mandate from British Columbians?
That would be that we've seen that, obviously. I mean, BC's province that has a legislated election day. I just want to get back to the use of the word dictator. I think it's offensive on so many different levels because there are countries in this world that really are under dictatorship. Iran is being one of them, and I think it is part of the problem. And I think your colleague Bill Good brings this up all the time as well. It is that intensity. It's a dictatorship. It's a revolution. Oh, come on, British Columbians. It's not a dictatorship. But I would like to see, obviously a clear mandate. But I think that's going to be something that you're going to see the leadership candidates talk about, whether or not they want to. I don't know if they can break. I don't know what the legalities around that on legislation. Whether
they'd have to recall the House. They'd have to recall the House and change the legislation if they wanted to call that snap election. But I think there will be discussion around that, Alise.
Yeah, and I think to be very fair, I think it's only fair for that new leader, whoever he or she is, to be able to spend some time carving out their policy. I mean, you're talking about a plan, a succession plan, right? So you're talking about building off of where we come from, and I think that you need to give that person time to be able to get their feel, their lay of the land, and figure out, really where we want to go. And 6 months, a year, maybe. I don't know, but I don't see it happening snap like that.
Vaughn Palmer made a good point today, though, that maybe then you could combine the HST referendum in with a general election and save a bunch of money. But at least I can't believe we're out of time already. We'll have to pick it up next week. Well, I think we'll have lots more to talk about next week with lots more candidates. Alise, always appreciate your time.
Thank you.